So hi, my name is Lizaveta Vintsek, but everyone just call me Liza. Today I want to present you the topic under the title From I Know to We Know, Unlock the Power of Knowledge Sharing. Maybe it sounds too ambitious, but I'm just trying to attract your attention. So thank you for joining us today, and sit comfortably and prepare for 30 minutes of knowledge sharing. And at the end of presentation, I will be grateful if you will share your experience in this topic as well with us. So I'm working at Motorola for 2 years as a software tester, and additionally, during the last year, I'm a Scrum Master. In everyday life, I'm a mother, climber, and doctor of philosophy. So probably because of my academic experience, I was initiator of knowledge sharing introduction into my team. And now, as a logical continuation, I want to share my experience with you. We are living in the world full of information. We can even say that we are overloaded by the information. Do you know that up to 75% of brain's energy is dedicated for information processing? Fortunately, our brain has mechanisms to adapt to this information pressure and save energy. And among these adaptations are relying on others. So we rely on authorities, on experts in the field, or just on our friends. But this adaptation has some disadvantages. For example, we are less critical. So we less often double-check information. We not question everything. We have no doubts. Of course, those critical approaches are needed for scientists, for researchers, or innovators, but do we really need them in everyday life? A little bit, yes, but it's called common sense, and it's absolutely enough. So here I want to highlight that most of the time we rely on information received from others. We shouldn't invite a bicycle every time. And now I want to talk a bit about types of information transfer. At the beginning of human history, information was transferred verbally or non-verbally, and from people to people, from person to person. Then literacy, I mean ability to write and read, was introduced, and it's essentially increased the ability of transfer of information. Now information is mostly digitalized and can be analyzed by computers, including AIs, and who knows where it will lead us. So we can easily find answers to most of the questions, for example, from how to bake a carrot cake to how the Bluetooth works. But can we easily find answers to any questions? And I mean questions to which answers are already known. Unfortunately, even taking into account accelerated growth of engineering and science during the last years, was still far from it. And it's especially true for field-specific information and information stored and protected in the companies. And on this particular kind of information, I want to focus during the presentation. It's paradoxically, but during the last decades, significant shift towards the written form of communication is observed. I will give you a minute to read the joke. So I expect that most of you also notice this shift. And this also impacts knowledge sharing, because we can't find everything in the internet or via ChatGPT. And especially in companies, knowledge is shared rather verbally, so we are forced to talk to each other. And taking into account that talking, especially face-to-face, became less popular, some risk to lose important information appears. Another risky situation is when people just don't want to share their knowledge at all. For example, experts which gain their information or even sometimes generates during a long period of time don't want to share the information, and it's understood because they work hard to gain it. From other side, we have less experienced employees who see the gurus behind them and don't have confidence that their knowledge available can be helpful. So how to get through those limitations? How to motivate people to share their knowledge? And the answer is, we can't, because we can't. Because we cannot force people to be motivated. Because true long-lasting motivation comes from within the individual. But we can create conditions, and applying to knowledge sharing and in context in any other issues, we can first of all lead by example. So as according to this mem, it's not necessary to have a leader title to lead others, especially to share your knowledge and your experience and to be an example. Even if you have no 10 years of experience in the field, because the most important is that you know even a bit more than somebody else. It's enough to be supportive and helpful for your colleagues. And for those of you who feel intrinsic need to share your knowledge, or you are a manager who are looking for approaches to increase efficiency of your team, I really recommend you mentoring, because I know that it's time-consuming and time it's our main enemy, but effects on the mentee, on the mentor, is really worth to try it. Another step that you can do to change people's attitude to knowledge sharing is to explain purpose. So people are more motivated when they understand why they do it. And of course, the purpose should be meaningful and meets the needs of encouraged people. Of course, not everyone motivated by the same things. So when you explain the purpose, be comprehensive. Among examples of such motivators can be enjoyment of the task, or recognition, or self-development. And additionally, show the vision, so the larger context. Make people feel a part of something larger than themselves, because a sense of connection and belonging is one of the powerful intrinsic motivator. So it's two ways of introduction knowledge sharing, from the top and from the bottom. We all know how it works when some initiatives are introduced from the top. So the smartest people in the company meet together and brainstorm about how to make lives of employees better. Then they prepare presentation or send an email where they describe benefits of new solution. But what is the average reaction of the people? Like, is it right? Must have been a decision made by upper management, but it's not of my business. So I really recommend to use this second direction, so from the bottom. Because people know better what they need. For example, there are some retro meetings or other meetings, and you notice that people mention lack of knowledge, difficult access to the information, lasting onboarding, or absence of the expert in the field as a blocker. So then propose to the team to talk more about it and try to find solution. And I'm sure that the creation of knowledge base or knowledge sharing in any other form will arise. And from this point, you can act. You can act on the creation of conditions for knowledge sharing culture introduction. So, okay, imagine that you apply all of the mentioned above approaches, and you have highly motivated team, and knowledge sharing become a part of your team, department, of company culture. But sooner or later, you will meet the need to write down gathered information. So here, you need to create a so-called knowledge base or knowledge space in written form. So among the having knowledge space in written form, I can mention easier access to the information. This information can be source of data for further analysis by AI. Onboarding can be faster. And people can use those information for self-learning, self-development, for example, to achieve annual goals. And teams are not blocked because of absence of knowledge holder. And less important for employees and more important for company, that the knowledge stay in the company. I don't know if you feel the same, but after a presentation made by a good speaker, I feel so energized, so motivated. But when someone will ask me, what about was this presentation? I'm just, because there was a lot of citations, smart phrases, and in addition, some success story, but less real tool that I can use. So here, I want to talk more about practical part of knowledge sharing. And here I want to talk about tools, about how to manage and maintain knowledge base. Because first of all, you should have a plan. You should know what you want in this knowledge base and how you want to gain it. Regarding the tool, I can recommend you to use the Confluence, because I use it personally. But if your team used to some other similar tool, so be free to use it as well. But regardless the tool you will choose, the most important is to think about structure of your knowledge base. So it will help you in the future easily find where to put new information and where to find it. So organize meeting with encouraged people, so the people who will create this knowledge base and for whom this knowledge base created, and discuss about structure and find some consensus. Here's an example of my team knowledge base. I'm from a software tester team. We're dealing with manual tests. So here we have everything we need in our work. For example, about Astro system structure, about some installations, processes, consoles feature, and others. We use it in our everyday work. And as well, other teams in our department use it. And additionally, we have our own space, mostly dedicated only for our team. For example, it can be used for onboarding. And he will have some notes from retro meeting, etc. So then organize another meeting because you should define the rules of this knowledge base. First, about permissions. So who will have permission to edit knowledge base or leave comments or add new articles. In Confluence, there are tools that help you to define restrictions. For example, everyone can view and edit, or everyone can view, only some can edit, etc. So definition of restrictions is up to you. In my team, all team members can create and edit articles, but others can view and comment. And then we look for these comments and try to adapt our articles according to them. Then define if you need some template, predefined template. Confluence as well allows you to create your own template or use already created, for example, for how-to article or troubleshooting article. So you should define if you will have articles with the same structure or absolutely different if you don't need any template at all. Define the content. So what will be in this knowledge base? And start from the point that you can't describe everything. And knowledge base is created for people, not people for knowledge base. So for the beginning, you can define the list of really necessary articles, for example, some onboarding or basic information about your product, but then just let the river flow. So be responsive to the needs of the team. And if this needs to create new article arise, do it. For example, you have a task and you spend whole day to complete this task. But then you realize that if you will know the information before starting the task, you will complete it in 2 hours. So in this case, after completing the task, write down gathered information. And so the next time your colleague or you, when you will receive the same task, you will complete it faster. So our knowledge base, as you can see, also didn't contain everything about Astro or console. We just add here only practical information that our team need. Responsibility. So you should understand that maintenance of knowledge base, it's a group responsibility. It's a responsibility of all users. And here, this whole story about motivation was preparation for this step. Because to make something, like to take responsibility independently without any force or pressure from outside, people should be motivated and to understand why they do it. But besides group responsibility, like in self-organizing team in Scrum, there should be some leader. And let's call him or her supervisor. So it's a person who's responsible for maintenance of knowledge base, for example, looking if everything is in the right place, in the right order, responsible for kind reminders, for example. Of course, in a perfect world, wherever everyone is motivated, there are no place for kind reminders, but we all know the truth. And I highly recommend you do not have only one supervisor. He or she should have some backup, for example, for sick leave or vacation, and to prevent a burnout. Because when someone have too many responsibilities for a long period of time, so person became less motivated. And for such supervisor, Confluence also provides some helpful tool. For example, you can create pages that will automatically collect data, for example, about completed and actual tasks, ongoing tasks, and about pages, last updates to control update process. Review. So if you want to have high quality knowledge base, review is necessary process. Because we're human, we make mistakes. We're subjective. So when someone else will double check your article, it's easier to find those mistakes at the beginning. So define how the review process will be organized. And it's up to you. For example, the reviewer can be rotated every week, or there could be some volunteer, or could be more experienced in this topic person, less experienced. It's absolutely up to you. And here in Confluence, we have such tool which is called workflow, which allows us to add such sign that will help us to understand if this article needs review or is after review. You can define who will be reviewer, and this reviewer will reject or approve the article and can add comments. I personally don't really like this tool because every even smallest edition of the article require new review process, and it's sometimes disturb more than help. Another challenge in it's knowledge-based maintenance. Because after some time, also it's upgrade of the articles and addition of new articles. Because after some time, you will notice that articles are created less often than at the beginning of the knowledge-based creation. And here we come back to the question of motivation, because it's not 0-1. It's a very complicated and social process. And so how to create environment that helps people to stay motivated for a long time? First of all, this environment should be positive. Yes, it's obvious, but I think it's worth to mention it from time to time. Creating of positive environment is laying on the hands of leaders, like managers, scrum masters, team leads. And here I want to present non-exhaustive, of course, list of methods how to create positive environment in context of knowledge sharing. So first, build confidence. So believe in others' people's competence. Through it, they will believe that their knowledge are available and will be motivated to share it. As I mentioned before, experience, age, or number of years you're working in the company shouldn't be a limitation for you to share your knowledge. Second, offer support. So equip people with necessary resources and trainings that will help them to share their knowledge. Among trainings, it can be conflict administration course or mentor course. And among resources, the most important resource that you as a leader can give to your team, it's time. So during the planning, reserve some time for activities around knowledge base. Even create a Jira, create a task in the Jira. So through it, you as a leader will show to your team that you value knowledge sharing as well as a part of the normal part of your team's work. And people don't feel that they are overloaded or overtime because of the knowledge base maintenance. Recognition. For everyone, the most important word is I am. So acknowledge efforts of other people, even smallest one. Make people feel that you value their willingness to share knowledge. For example, prepare small presents during town hall for the most active content creator, or during the daily meeting, recognize people who create some cool articles during last time, or just ring a bell when new article is created. And listening, and I mean here active listening. So let's pretend that some time ago you create a knowledge base, and time has changed, and you didn't take everything into account, and your knowledge base is not perfect. And someone come to you and propose some enhancements. So be open for the other people's thoughts and ideas. Even if you think that this idea have no right to live, give it a chance. Talk with the team about this proposition, and if team will reject it, so okay, let's move on. But you show the respect to others' willingness to enhance something, to make it better. And so the next time people will be more motivated to think about improvements and propose it. Culture. Make knowledge sharing a part of the culture. Create strong community around knowledge sharing. People are more likely to edit or update articles when they know for whom it is and that it's made by people like they are and people for the people like they are. Try to recognize another community-based projects, for example, Stack Overflow or Google Map. This works. So because the feeling that you can be even immortal through taking a part in something valuable, something impactful is a very strong feeling. As you noticed, I don't give you a very precise description on how to create and manage knowledge base, and give you a lot of space for choosing your own way. Because regardless the tools and you choose, the most important is that you define those rules who are suitable for everyone who are engaged, and you divide it in advance, and everyone agree with it. And at the end, I want to put a topic to think about. Okay, let's imagine that we have well-structured and organized knowledge base, and instead of asking experts for the advice, you just open the ready manual, ready instruction, and follow it step by step without understanding why you do it and how it's work. So can it lead to the degradation of ability to learn? I want you to ask this question by yourself, but here I only present my subjective vision. And I want to compare it to the climbing. So here on the picture is bouldering. It's when you complete the trail using predefined handles and steps. And to complete the trail, you should remember the sequence of the movements. For me, it's like studying at the university. So you train your brain to remember a lot of information, and perfectly it's with understanding, but it's not necessary to pass the exam. But then you go to the work, and in my example, it's rock climbing. So here you have no predefined handles and steps. You should improvise. And the most important is to save your straight and complete the task, complete the trail, and do not fall down, of course. So the same is at the work environment. We are valued for the task completed, not for the time we spend for looking for the information or remembering it. So I think that knowledge base is a never-ending story, because new products are created and old articles needs some updates. So we still should analyze data and rewrite it in easy to understand form and adapt to the particular goal. So I doubt that using of knowledge base will affect the ability to learn. And remember, even if you have perfect knowledge base, there still will be questions like how to do something, where to find something. So you can answer this or this, but we should be critical to ourselves. An article written by us are not perfect, because it can be difficult to understand, because we all have different background. We use different language, different style of writing. So during my presentation, I explain you the benefits of having knowledge base in written form. But in the end, I want to tell you, let's stay human. Let's take pleasure from verbal face-to-face communication, from face-to-face knowledge sharing. But remember about future generations of employees. And remember that they also can have benefits from your experience, and based on your knowledge, build the future. So now I want to say thank you for my team, for Astral team, for supporting me in my idea of creation knowledge base and maintaining it. And also I want to say thank you for Agile Spot organizers, especially Veronica and Shimon, for the feedback and help with creation of this presentation. And thank you for all of you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. So now it's time for questions and for sharing our knowledge. Thank you.